Yes, people. What's going on? It's Seagull Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video and smash that like button on your way in. Let's try to get this video past at least 200 likes. If you can do that for me, it would be massive. Now, we got another Premier League weekend coming through very soon. We're going to be playing some games tomorrow, Saturday. So the kickoff, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be at 3 o'clock or 12:30, whichever one. Usually it's at 12:30, but it looks like there's going to be the first game is going to be at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So Arsenal are going to be playing Wolves. Ipswich, Liverpool are going to be playing Ipswich at home. You're going to have Man City and Chelsea tomorrow at 5:30, the big clash at 5:30. We're going to have to talk about that. You got the two Oil brothers right there. Tottenham going to face Leicester. We got Manchester United traveling away to Fulham. It's going to be a good week. And, of course, a bunch of other Premier League games also. We also have to talk about the Champions League. Man City look like they could be crashing out of the Champions League. They got one more game and they could be out, but they still have that chance to save themselves with that final game. And also, Garnacho to Chelsea. Ooh, what is going on here? Man United fans loving it. Chelsea fans not loving it. Liverpool, could they continue their title hunt and further their lead this weekend? We'll have to wait and see. And Mikel Arteta calling out KSC and the Arsenal board saying, did I ever say I don't want a striker? Clearly, we need help. But hey, let's get this show started. We got Ahmed in the building. Ahmed, how you doing, bro? You're on mute, bro. Your mic's mad. What's going on? We can't hear you. Can anyone hear him? It's not me. I don't know what's going on, bro. I can't hear you. Charlie Chaplin over here. We can't hear shit. Vader, can you hear him?
No, I don't care. No, I can't hear him.
No. Okay, can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you now.
What happened was I think the mic setting, because there's a new mic, it got changed on was it called StreamYard? That's all.
Whoa, new mic. Hey.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. And then we got Rack indoors this time. Indoor Rack. Rack sometimes on the balcony, sometimes he's near the window.
Put that finger down, Rax.
Alfresco streaming, man. Alfresco streaming. But that's all the summertime thing.
All right, man, saying ting and all of that. What the hell? I haven't heard Rack use slang in my life. Yeah, Jay's going to be joining us in a few minutes. We don't know if M's going to be joining, but before we go any further, guys, how do you like the Champions League? What do you guys think of the Champions League this year? People saying Arsenal, because Arsenal are finishing third right now, people are saying it's a flawed system. Liverpool going top of the Champions League. People are like, wow, Liverpool's amazing. They've won all their games. Man City could get knocked out if they don't win their last game. And people are like, this is a travesty for Man City, obviously. But hey, and then you have all the stuff going on with the transfer window. Chelsea looking at Garnacho, Man City going crazy. But before we go any further, let's just do a quick recap on the Champions League. Liverpool, very routine win once again.
Yeah, Lille, good team, man. They actually surprised me. They came and played quite well. I don't think we were ever particularly in danger. Especially when it went down when they went down to 10 men, you wouldn't expect. But to give them credit, they came back and made it 1-1. But I kind of feel we always had another gear to go to if we needed to. But respect to them, we top of the league, can't really do much more. We'll see. We'll see. Look at Rainer's got his arms crossed. This is like a defensive posture if I've ever seen one. Look at him.
Hey,
you're the body language expert. Tell me, what is he saying with this? What does this mean?
He's disappointed. He's dejected, a little bit, gutted, whatever you want to call it. But before we go any further, Arsenal, we're doing our thing in the Champions League. We have conceded 2 goals. We've undefeated at home, not conceded a single goal at home, haven't lost a game at home. We've won 5 games in the Champions League this season. We've drawn 1, lost 1. So far, so good. And I just feel like people
are you the best? Are you the best home team in Europe? Like I heard an Arsenal fan suggest earlier.
No. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just. That was a bad one. You can't read it. There's no grand conclusion.
Home Champions League champions or something like that.
No, there's no grand conclusion needs to be made. We don't need to be the best.
I know. No, it was a funny observation. It was a funny observation.
You know what? These guys always do this, man. They don't always have to go over the top. Let's relax for a second. And then Ahmed's team, you guys didn't even play midweek. No European football for you guys. It was already done.
No European football until March for us.
Fair. Only 6 games in the Conference League.
Yep. regular schedule, man. We got those wins, and then we get to pushing.
Fair enough. And now Vader, talk to me. Are we blaming this on Pep, the defense? What are we blaming it on? How is Man City losing a 2-goal lead and then conceding an additional 2 goals on top? You're on mute, bro. You're having a howler today.
I was on the phone. You know what? When we think about the surrendering of goals to a PSG, it's not unfamiliar. Unfortunately, we haven't been looking good. I mean, yes, we can have results here and there, but in Champions League, we've been very inconsistent. Feyenoord is the biggest example. 3 goals up, 15 minutes left in that game, right? Ended up being a draw. PSG, I think they've seen what many teams have been able to do to us lately, and that's just be relentless, play us for 90 minutes, right? Gone are the days of teams that are just going to like defend for their lives. Teams are actually going to go after us. Okay, yeah, but that was a long time ago. Now, I mean, we're in different forms, so teams are going to attack us for a full game, and they're going to know where to go. They're going to go through our midfield. They're going to attack if it happens to be a Rico on that pitch. They're going to attack if it happens to be a Gunnigan or a Koba. Well, Kyle Walker, actually, in all fairness, when he would get subbed on, we knew that he wasn't quite the same player, but what we were surrendering this season, midfield's the problem, and it's still a growing problem. I know we'll talk about it a little later in the show, but fans are still happy to see the signings that we have, but they're like, where are our midfielders? Where are our defensive midfielders? Because that's where we're lacking. It would have been amazing to win against PSG, but it still would have resulted in us having to get a win, or should I say a draw, versus Bruges, because they and us have to win, because the winner of either of us are in the top 24. So still got to get business done, man. I think it's actually in best favor for most clubs to want City to remain in the Champions League, because you do not want Pep to only focus on the Prem. Then it's a guaranteed top 4. Then it's like, okay, we got that locked up. But if we're distracted, if we got to play,
the FA Cup, and you don't disrespect the FA Cup. You forgot about it.
No, I didn't forget about it. No, I didn't forget about it.
You're still in the FA Cup.
How are you telling me I forgot about the FA Cup?
After all this respect you've shown the FA Cup over all of these years, you disrespect it by not even mentioning it.
I'm not going to take that from you, who doesn't want any other trophy except for the Champions League and Prem. I'm not going to take that from you, Mr. Disrespect. I just happened not to say FA at the time, because I realized that our next opponent in the FA Cup should be well managed by us, and then we'll see what happens. And obviously the FA Cup is won when the season's done. Put that finger down, Rax. Put all your fingers on the glass, or put it down. Most people put the pinky up. This guy's got his index finger up. I don't know what kind of bouge fanciness that is.
What's going on? Like, you doing it?
Yeah, he's doing this.
Yeah, he's doing that. I'm like, what's that? What's he signaling? What's that?
You do the little tube.
This is expert deflecting from Vader. This is ad
hominem attack. All right.
When
very
simple.
Very simple. It's that time of the show where we call out.
The FA Cup.
It's that time of the show where we call out players. Bernardo Silva, please stand up.
Oh, here we.
What are you doing with your life?
Why? Wait. Stop. What is
going on?
It's the time of the show where we call out City players. You don't have no segments calling out players in general.
No, we call out players for Chelsea when they play shit. We call out Arsenal players when they play bad. We call out everybody. We literally spent a whole show one time speaking about Man United for like 30 minutes, just calling out all their players. As for Man City right now, there's a bunch of players that need to be held accountable. Bernardo Silva being one of them.
Okay.
Another one being what do you call it? Jack Grealish. What does he really bring to your table?
He scored. I mean, like, let's be honest, bro. Like, I think we've been a bit unfair on Grealish. He actually did.
Hey.
He got the goal.
He got subbed on and scored.
Yeah. I think
give Grealish a cut. Bernardo Silva is the main one that I'm looking at. I'm saying, okay, Bernardo Silva, what are you really doing? And then I'm looking at the whole back line, and I'm saying, you got a lot of experienced players in your back line. Well, what really happened to your defenders? Have they all fallen off at the same time, or is it just the midfield?
No. I mean, it's again, if you tune into my channel, CIA, we got intelligent agendas. So we talk intelligently. It's not just one factor.
You say we're not talking intelligently right now?
No, we are. So I'm not going to say it's one factor. It's never one factor, right? Is it the defense? Is it just the midfield? No, it's not just one of those things.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, not to you, not directed at you. Can I promote my things at the same time as I try to do?
Hey, the link is in the description. Don't worry,
absolutely,
bro.
Absolutely.
It's there.
So no, but it's more than one thing. It is the midfield. It is the midfield because the midfield gives us that connection, gives us that protection of the defense. But the defense has been switched up so many times. I mean, I'm about to play Chelsea. They've got defenders in and out, haven't been able to be consistent. I'm in the same boat with regards to trying to find some consistency. I had that defense looking nice, controlled, clean sheet until my leader, Ruben Diaz, had to get off that pitch. We went on to learn that he has like an abductor injury. That's why he wasn't able to play the full game. But when he was out of there, when he was no longer dictating and letting people know where to be, how to control things, we did look a lot different, a lot sloppier. I think it's a combination of not having the right midfield and obviously the injuries to our defense. But Bernardo Silva, again, everybody wants to attack players that have been so good, so great for us for so many years. Bernardo Silva is that player that Pep has relied on to do almost everything. The man's played right wing, left wing. You'll remember when he had to play left back versus Saka a couple games ago. He's the utility man. He's the man that's relied on to do so much. I think he's been played out. He needs a break. He needs to be able to chill, put his feet up a little bit, recharge. He's been used a lot like many players. Again, like many of the players. This is not a cop-out. This is not a shot. Well, those of you in the chat, too sensitive. Listen, they've had to play their hearts out. They've had to battle for 4 years at least straight. And these weren't easy years. Listen, Rax is off camera. One of those years, it had to go down to the wire to win it by 1 point. Just the other season, we had to go down to the wire to win it by 2 points. Some of these players are gassed. They're gassed out. The energy's not there. I'm seeing it in too many of them. Bernardo Silva, it caught up with him. He's not ready to do all that Pep's asking him. Pep actually maybe needs to look to kind of simplify things and recognize who's got the legs, who doesn't. Bernardo looked really bad in that PSG game. The nutmeg aside, all of that, listen, Pep has been saying the right things with regards to what he needs to do. I need my players. And what he means by that, he needs players that are going to be available health-wise. He's going to need players that are going to be available because of their pace and power, because of their ability. He needs a rebuild. And Rax is living comfortably, index finger up while he's drinking, because he had a rebuild a couple seasons ago. He had so many midfielders in there. He had so many attackers in there, right? It's now my turn. The Bridge Nation, they've been stacking. They've been getting players, right?
Bridge Nation built about 3 teams.
Exactly. He's got playing.
I'm a nation builder. What can I say?
There we go. He's playing B squads in his European conquest. Egal, it's just you and me, right? It's just you and me that are like, hey, we still need we need a lot. We need a lot of additions.
To be fair, I think Liverpool could use some signings also.
They can use some, but I'm not saying massive. You and I, we need some massive injections of players.
Jay's back on his old school camera. What's going on?
Whoa, it's the peephole. It's the peephole camera.
It's the black and white.
Telescopic,
Yeah.
bro.
You got your black and white camera.
I got my peephole. I feel like I'm broken my laptop. Or
X-rated, not J-rated.
This is
what?
That's what I'm saying. Through the keyhole with Jay.
What?
You know
No,
I mean?
is that a secure? Is that like a coverage that you have so no one can watch you when you?
It's on a need to know basis, Veta. You know what I mean? I can tell you, but you know.
Okay, all I'm gonna say, I hope
he tells you he's gonna have to deal with you. I get it.
If you are recording anyone, make
he's
sure they're aware
We're
of
talking
it.
about Man
Jay.
City getting
right,
their
Jay?
loss versus PSG.
Yeah, absolutely. Through the keyhole with Jay.
J-rated superstar, man. J-rated superstar, man. Big up,
Guys,
man.
we're gonna move on from the Champions League clearly because you guys don't want to spend too much time on it. But Man City are vulnerable right now. They face Chelsea at home. Ahmed, as a Chelsea fan, Are you licking your lips at this matchup right now?
Not really, because what I would say is that my
Sorry,
team is
just announced. Kyle Walker-Jones 80 man has just been announced.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Literally signed.
Are we surprised? Pep lets people leave the moment he realizes that they want to leave.
Yeah, we don't hold anybody hostage. If a player says,
Also, the guy's finished.
Kind of. He
I mean,
does it, but sometimes they do it in a way where, yeah, you can leave. That'll be 175 million pounds, please. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
Bernardo
like,
Silva's wanted out for the
yeah,
last
Bernardo-
3 years.
No. But
Yeah,
this one
sure,
is no. But look at this one. This one is he can leave on loan.
yeah.
On loan.
yeah, he's on loan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he was
You
going
think?
permanently.
Hold on. Look, you think Manchester City, a club like ours that respects our players for the warriors that they've been, are going to just send them off like this? We're going to sell him and that's it? No, it's going to be a proper farewell, a proper goodbye, recognizing all that he's done. This is a loan, because if it was anything more than a loan, you would have seen all of the fireworks and all of the bright lights, all of the highlights of this man's career. It's just a loan. We respect our players that have delivered so much for us.
Fair enough. But, listen, I think just going back quickly to the Man City game, obviously we've just kind of gotten out of our own rut against Wolves. I think defensively, I look at ourselves, I think we're actually very competent, more than ever now, defensively. The fact that Chalobah's back, Levi Cole was also going to be back for this game.
Chalobah's back.
Yeah,
Their
Chalobah's
best
back.
defender. Their best
Yeah,
defender.
for me, again, he's one of our best defenders. There's no denying that. I think him and Cole partnership is going to be, I think, at least from a Chelsea perspective, could be a lot more solid than Colwell, Tosin, Colwell, Disasi, right? Obviously, Fofana, sadly, he's out until the end of the season. So the game's the game.
Bridge Nation, just before you go on, I just want to know, when Bowley wiggles his little hands, does your mouth move? Because I could have sworn in the summer you were justifying the removal of Chalobah with the
yes.
It's all money in it, bro. All straight cash money, bro. Just
so
to be able
listen.
To,
so
yeah,
Jay,
now you forced him to come back. It's like, I believe Chalobah is our best defender.
That's why I came off mute. I was like, Chalobah's back? He said that so calmly, like
listen. I think for me, I think Jay's asking the right questions here, and I'm going to answer it correctly as well. And the way I'm going to answer that really for me is that I felt that I still had some level of belief in my personal mind that I think Disasi could reach maybe the level that he had under Maresca. At the time, I thought Tosin was a solid player compared to how he's played for us so far. But the reality is those two in particular, who are the backups, have just not been able to cut the mustard, bro. That's what it just comes down to. You know what I mean? As such, that's why
I respect you. I'm going to normalize changing your opinion with additional information. You know what I mean? You've seen 6 months more data, and now you said these guys are straight booty hole. And you're like, get out of my... Fair enough. I will let you go. I just wanted us to touch that.
Of course, no problem at all. I think obviously our backline looks a lot more solid now. I think from an attacking perspective, Sancho will create, Neto will create on some, will create, even Madueke will create on levels. Like, we will be able to be very good attacking wise. The problem for me is going to be Nicholas Jackson. 6 games without a goal. He's missing tap-ins now. In his last 2 games, he's missed tap-ins. I don't know, man. I'm just going to have to hope and pray Madueke gets a goal. Sancho, can you get me another goal? I'm looking at my other wingers, bro, because I can't rely on my striker today to get me the goal that I need.
You can't really rely on those wingers either.
Let's be rely on those. The thing I disagree. I can rely on those wingers.
No. Bro, hear me out.
What do you mean? Go ahead, I'm listening.
Let me learn. Neto never really was an end product guy at Wolves and hasn't been really at Chelsea. Sancho, since joining the Premier League, has not gotten more than 12 goals. He combined all seasons. Also, Mudryk, he's not even playing, but himself, he's not somebody who really produces. Madueke has been performing this season, but only when there's a really big outlier versus Wolves. In the rest of the games, hit or miss, in my opinion. The only real productive players you have in your forward line in my opinion. I'm not even counting Joao Felix. Joao Felix is hit or miss also. He performs really well versus Leicester teams. Haven't seen him consistently. He's in and out of the side. You can't rely on him either. The only real people who have stepped up for Chelsea consistently is Cole Palmer and Jackson.
I would have to say, I hear you, but I think Sancho, from an assists perspective, has been stepping up fast, actually, and ironically.
How many assists
actually,
do you have?
I think he's got like something like 5, 6, or 7, stuff like that. It's in that upper range, basically, around about that. He's actually been like our most creative guy. He's either been doing the pass before the pass, or actually creating fast in terms of an assist.
Sancho has 4 assists.
But essentially, he's still been our main guy. I'll be honest. If you watch him play, yes, maybe the DNA is not showing up on the sheet, but if you actually watch him play fast, he's been our most creative spark. Honestly, maybe like Palmer's just been a little bit equal to him, in my personal opinion. So, like, I think with Sancho, I'm a lot more kind to him because he's actually doing the stuff that I need him to do. I think Madueke, other than the last 3 performances, has been somewhat consistent. I'll be honest. Even this last game, he was really shit, but he still got a goal.
Bridge, just on Madueke, I always get confused with the press that Madueke gets because I like him, yeah, and I'm like, when you look at his comparison is people like Doku and stuff like that, people might be like, you're looking at that kind of winger. When you're looking at like a dribbly winger who can, because Madueke kind of beats his man for fun. Like if you watch him play, his struggle is not beating his man. Sometimes it's a little bit of decision making. Sometimes it's a little bit of selfishness. But like I see a good player in him. And if you compare him to other left-footed right wingers, he's not in the Saka, Palmer, Foden tier. But if you look at the next tier down of left-footed right wingers, he's in that bracket and he's doing well against his peers.
Madueke.
Yeah.
All right. While we're talking about wingers, we're going to come back to the City game for a second, park it for a second. Let's talk about this. Garnacho, Alejandro Garnacho, available Manchester United. What if Manchester United receive an offer of 60 million from Chelsea or any club? At this moment in time, they've rejected 50 million from Napoli. They want 60 million, but they probably meet in the middle, 55. Chelsea really want Garnacho. They view him at the perfect age and position that they would need. What are you saying, Ahmed? Is this a signing that would get you excited?
No. No. I'm honestly, for me, this is one of them ones where, it doesn't make even sense to me. From like, I know the club is based a lot more on data and stuff like that. If you look at Garnacho from a data standpoint, right, and compare him to all of our wingers, he's actually worse. I couldn't believe this here, but like one of my good Chelsea mates of mine, he showed me a comparison between Garnacho and our worst wingers, which is Mudryk. And Mudryk is doing better than him statistically. And this is a guy, by the way, that's on PEDs, allegedly, and was poor last season. I just want you to deep that, right? And I think for me, at the end of the day,
sorry, just one thing. When you say he's doing better, are you conflating using Conference League stats again?
No, this is not Conference League. This is the Premier League stats.
I know how you guys like to do that.
Exactly, Jay. No, Jay. I've got my stat. It's actually he actually showed me through Premier League. It was actually Premier League. It was Premier League to Premier League, actually, right? And that was
but the thing is obviously I'm not. Listen, you've got the stats, but I'm going to say to you, based off me just thinking in my head over the last
even me, I was surprised, bro. Even I was surprised.
You need to give me these stats because there's no
way
Mudryk has better.
Are you saying Garnacho versus Mudryk in what? Like assists, key stats?
I think it was just what he showed me was Premier League, and then he showed me, I think it was goals, assists, then I think it was expected goals. I think he showed me assists and then expected assists, right? That's what he basically showed me, right? And those are like the key ones. And like he was actually doing better than him apparently when I saw it. So that's what I saw. But I think for me, irregardless of the fact, Garnacho for me just is not quality enough. I think if you're going to spend 60 million on someone, Bradley Barcola is a good opportunity signing to do. I know the club is also linked to Matthias Tel. You might as well get him for that price. If you're going to go for someone, you might as well work within that price range. I just think for me, Garnacho, I don't see what he adds to the team. Yeah. I feel like we've already got. I feel like we've already got him in Madueke, and Madueke is much better than him in everything that he does as well. I just think for me, the reason why we're buying Garnacho, the underlying reason, I'll tell you why, is because Mudryk has failed his B sample, and that probably means that his time at Chelsea probably is already up. Yeah, and they're trying to find his next replacement. Genuinely, that's what I think. The reason why we're signing him.
Okay, if that is the reason.
I had someone mention what's his name, Nkunku as maybe being a bit part and doing some kind of swap. That just heard that in the last few hours.
I saw that United are interested in, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Chelsea are kind of like trying to force Tel out of the club because they want Nkunku. I don't know if you saw that the report just came out I think last night and today, and they're basically trying to get him just to hold bench the whole time, not giving him any minutes at all. So, and Chelsea won't Tel. So I think what's been trying to happen is that the Chelsea is trying to force Tel to come to us, and then if he doesn't come to us, Garnacho for 60 minutes is gonna happen. So
let me speak on this real quick, because Bridge Nation is not being honest here. Bridge Nation is not looking at the full data. Bridge Nation is not looking at the complete picture. Okay, I told you guys earlier about the show that I happen to do, and we look at things a lot differently. You got to look at Garnacho's environment. You got to look at where he's playing. Any United fan will tell you how poisonous, how terrible that environment is. And I'm not going to look at the stats. I'm not going to look at the performances of the players over there and say this is who they are. United are crap. They're garbage. They've been poor. And he's been playing under Ten Hag, and now he's playing under Amarin, who's trying to figure it out. If Chelsea are looking at this young talent, thinking that they can get a better performance out of him, and if it's maybe precautionary because they want to replace this player that has this poor sample, it makes sense. It actually makes sense. What's bothering Bridge Nation right now and all of his peeps?
Probably because they called him shit for 6 months.
Exactly. And because they cannot fight back from the banter now. Because they were able to talk about Mason Mount to United fans all day long. They were able to talk to Arsenal fans about Kai Havertz all day long. Now it's on the other foot. Now they got to deal with United fans saying, ha, you got Garnacho. Deal with that. That's what Bridge Nation's worried about. That's why he's not happy. That's why he's looking at half the data. Garnacho in a better environment should be better for you guys. He shouldn't be the one that's over at United.
I hear your point, but sadly, I am not one of those fans that cares about the online image of me selling comments, the online image of selling him out. The Bridge Nation is an analytical gentleman, off the pitch and on the pitch. I just want it to be clearly understood.
Business going well. You're talking about yourself in the third person.
This is a football. One second.
Just on Garnacho.
Let me get to this, please. Right. Since this is a football channel where we actually get to the nitty gritty, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we got.
Right. So as you're lining these stats up, bro.
Yeah.
As you're lining these stats up, I want my point about Garnacho, and I've been making it all this week, is that I like Garnacho. He reminds me a lot of Anthony Gordon 2 years ago, a lot, yeah. And the one thing that people don't resonate when they're analyzing players is mindset, yeah. You can see in Garnacho's eyes, yeah. He's got that dog in him,
yeah.
Like to me, that's so you can't warrant for that. If you go and look at like all of these companies who assess footballers' transfer values and this and that, I guarantee you, go look at the last 2 years. Yeah, Garnacho will be as high as any other 18, 19, 20-year-olds, yeah, in those lists. On top of that, yeah, if you look at the player, great point that Veta made, Ten Hag, most people will say, oh, Ten Hag's system, this and that, there was a lot of issues. Then he comes to a system where the manager wants certain kinds of specialized profiles. He's not. If I'm United, I'm like, hold on, you're going to throw this 20-year-old out because he may or may not fit the system of a guy that's only done it in Portugal. To me, there's red flags about those kind of decision makers anyway. But from the flip side, when we're looking at Garnacho, we have to just say to him, listen, your club invested a lot of money in data analytics and some of the best, your words like Joe Shields, Win Stanley, the best people at identifying talent. Summer, you looked at Duran, you looked at Samu, you looked at all these names, and people were like, this name isn't doing it for me. But 6 months on, a lot of your fans are like, oh, damn, I wish we'd signed this person at £40 million. I wish we'd signed this person at.
Yeah.
So from a very basic point of view, if you're basically telling me that Chelsea are trying to, like, if I go and see like Dortmund and they say, hey, 80 million for Bino Gittins, Marmoush, 75 million. You're basically paying between 40 and 60 million for any sort of winger nowadays. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little high, sometimes it's a little low. But you paid 40 for Palmer, you got a nice one. Yeah. You paid 60 for Mudryk, didn't work out so much. You paid 50 something for Neto. You paid 30 something for Madueke. Nice upside. Do you see what I mean? You're paying between 30 to 60 million for these wingers. You're trying them out. You're seeing how it goes. So to me, I think I would have more faith in the scouts. I saw a great stat. In fact, let me, because I posted it. The stat is amazing. So basically, the stat basically says, in terms of players, like the zones where players have expected XG. So basically, what it says. I'll find.
Garnacho is high in that zone.
Yeah, so let me find the actual stat for you. You guys keep going, and I'll find.
I was just gonna say. I was looking at the
show
numbers.
why it makes sense Chelsea signing him.
I was looking at the numbers. Sancho really hasn't ever had a really good season.
2022-23. Why are we not comparing him to this season?
Sancho has never really had a good season in the Premier League ever.
I feel like we should be doing that for all players. Then we can. I think we're being a bit more.
I'm looking for his best season. I can't find a season where Sancho's actually had a good season in the Premier League. If you want to say this is his best season, 16 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, that's still not really like amazing. Even his chance creation this season compared to Garnacho chance creation.
Oh, by the way, once I show you this, you'll
look at this.
Like,
look at this.
It's so easy to talk through. Igal, I just sent it backstage. So
pull up what
I just said, and I'll talk you through it, and it makes perfect sense why Chelsea want to buy him. So this, what Igal's going to pull up now is the expected XG.
Oh, is it that data analytics?
Yeah. So it's the expected XG of players in certain
positions.
positions.
We're going way too in depth today.
No. So this is a very simple way of explaining this, yeah. And it'll make so much sense when you.
How come Saka's not nowhere near this?
Bro, just pull the stat. this guy's right. So
the guy goes straight to his own man, innit?
Holland's everywhere.
Here we go. So looking at this now, yeah, what you can see, this is the expected XG of players in all of these different positions. So there's a couple of interesting ones that people there. First of all, the Brennan Johnson and Salah and Visa in that penalty box shows how good. Basically, Brennan Johnson is kind of like a Sterling regen at this point. He doesn't have the dribbling, but in terms of that popping up, look at Garnacho on the left wing, yeah? And look at Madueke on the right wing, yeah? Then look at Palmer in the middle, right? So you've got a guy, Garnacho, who is accumulating XG, and Barnes' data is skewed because he doesn't play that much. So he's got a very small sample size. Kind of like what your friend probably was trying to tell you about Mudryk. Because he's always a sub, his data looks better. Watkins, Gordon, Diaz, Mateta. So going into that left-hand channel, these guys are able to accumulate a lot of XG. Madueke on the other side is able to accumulate a lot of XG. So now you've got Palmer, yeah, who now can create for 2 wingers who are good at getting into good positions to get shots off. From a very simple point of view, just using this data, it's like, okay, I see it. It's not, you don't need to be a rocket science to say, okay, you've got Palmer who'd be feeding Garnacho and Madueke, who like to shoot, who like to create, like who like to, take shots on. It makes sense. Simple.
Fair.
There you go, boy.
That's great information.
I like it. Oh, yeah. Guys, by the way, Arsenal are working on a deal. What the hell is this?
Are you using fajitas.com again, Igal?
No, David
Ornstein told you about this.
David Ornstein.
Okay. Oh no, Ornstein has turned into a bit of a chat. Ornstein has been a bit of a chat.
Arsenal are working on a deal to sign
window, hasn't he?
18-year-old.
It's not just me, is it?
18-year-old Norwegian midfielder. What the fuck? It's not going to help us now, is it?
It's interesting because Scandinavia's turned into a bit of a hotbed of talent actually over the last few years. So yeah, Norway particularly.
But this is the thing about Ornstein. He did the same thing about Zubimendi. Like the way that was talked about, it was like it was done. And now I can't find any hint of news about that transfer. Is it still going? Are other clubs coming in?
They did the same thing about Declan Rice, bro. It's not done, but it's like we've done a lot of the groundwork to get it done.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know enough about this kid. I heard he's another Norwegian wonder kid. If it means we have another player coming in that could potentially help our midfield and we'll save some money in the future, as we're already getting him in while they're young and they have a lot of scope to grow, and we still have some senior players in the team that he can grow with. Fair enough.
Well, the connection between him and Odegaard, that'd be good.
But overall, I would view him as an understudy and not somebody who's going to make a massive difference right away. If he comes in and makes a massive difference, great. But regardless, we still need to go and get Zubimendi. We still need to go and get a striker, a left winger, potentially one more defender after a bunch of these defenders have an exodus in the summer. Because I think 3 of them are leaving. 3 defenders are leaving. We got Zinchenko, Tierney, and one more, potentially all flying out of this club soon. So we'll see.
What I was gonna say before we went to the Garnacho stuff, I would probably say
before we schooled you on it. Yeah,
that's not really a schooling, but
education.
But what I would say is that I am what? Education is crazy.
It's like I don't need no schooling. I was homeschooled from the age of 4.
Alas, you know what I mean. I would just say
that's quite possibly you're the most impressive one. Not even one line, one single word you've ever uttered on this channel. That's
you never heard that statement before?
The comic timing was perfect, I must say.
Education is great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what I was just gonna say is that I'm quietly confident against City. I would say I'm quietly confident.
Confident. Okay, let's get it back. Jay. Let these guys simmer a little bit. Let the rice cook on like one. What you saying, Jay? What you saying?
What, my relegation 6-pointer with Leicester?
City, Chelsea. City, Chelsea.
Listen, like the thing about City is I watched the PSG game. I wasn't as I come online afterwards and the waxing lyrical that I saw people doing for PSG, I was like, wasn't.
Did you see Arsenal Mo's piece on Barcola?
Yeah, it's like, but it's like Arsenal played PSG this season as well, didn't they? Yeah, and it was quite comfortable for Arsenal. The one thing that this exposed for me in this game for City is City looked old. Yeah, they looked old in this game. Like it looks like, to me, this is the way to beat City. Yeah, you just got to run. Yeah, all game, and eventually City will tire. Eventually.
I'm so happy you've got PMP matches then.
Yeah, and my thing is that, like, to me, I think City have like 60, 65 minutes of quality in them at any given game nowadays, yeah? Not 90. So you saw they can turn it on. They're still very capable.
Raider's nodding his head and he's taking notes right now. I can see him.
Nodding his head. Veta knows his team. He knows what he's watching, and he knows that this isn't Man City. Yeah, this isn't
CIA, man. CIA,
he's seen over the last 5 years. But
yeah,
like, what's it they say? I'm not as good as I once was, but every so often I'm as good as I ever was. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it is about City. Do you know what I mean? I say, like, they can run it back. They can run it back at any moment. So to me, when I watch Chelsea against Wolves,
Rack is too hyped today. What's going on? What do you have to drink?
I need to get me one of those rums. I need to get me one of those rums, Racks. The thing for me is,
it's just cranberry juice. It's just cranberry juice.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course, vodka cranberry. But when I watch,
we don't promote that here.
Like someone like a Dewsbury Hall against City would get exposed. Do you know what I mean? And I think you had enough against Wolves. I'm looking at players like Jackson, Palmer, Madueke. They're gonna cause City problems. Like I'm not sure what City have in the tank for this game, but it's at City, isn't it?
Yes, Etihad.
So I actually I took my nephew to go watch.
You're going on way too long.
I took my nephew to go see City versus Salford. Yeah? And then I saw City versus Ipswich. So to me, in this game,
He's gonna give us the whole background.
No. In this game,
Respect.
PSG, I'm gonna give
That's
City
when I
the
was a
benefit
kid.
of the doubt that PSG was a blip. Yeah, because the 2 games previous they looked like they were coming back. And old man Bernardo has no business playing. And the games that they smashed him,
Bernardo's
he didn't
finished.
play. So I'm gonna go with City 3-2 in a screamer.
Woo! City 3-2, 5:30 kickoff, crazy game. Rack, what are you saying? Rack in way less words. You won't put an essay in like Jay.
I wanted to give you
I
an
think we've all been
analysis of why I gave over.
Fair.
I think we've all been shocked and surprised by the abrupt downfall of City, and yeah, I don't think this particular downfall, the trajectory or I'm going to call it a collapse. I don't think anyone saw it getting this bad. Maybe you say City have a season off or something like that, or things don't go well, but I don't think anyone expected it. I pretty much, apart from maybe the bottom 5, I don't back City against any other team right now until they prove that they can do it again. And if they prove they can do it again, fine. But right now, I don't see anything but a Chelsea win. And Chelsea have athletes. Chelsea have that you can say what you like about them, but they have athletes. And similar PSG, they've got some good, very good players, but they've got a lot of players who also haven't done very well this season. And I think Chelsea turn it on and win 3-1.
Okay, I'm gonna go now before I go to Vader and Ahmed. I'm just gonna say this: Chelsea have not gotten a big scalp in over 2 years. I feel like, besides Tottenham, which they always beat. So if they were
United as well, we beat United last season as well.
United are shit also. So if you beat Man City, this would be like the biggest scalp. A team you haven't been able to beat in a while in their own ground, it would be a huge win. You've gotten draws, but you haven't gotten the win. The thing is, both teams can't defend. But now Chalobah's there. Maybe there's a little bit of a difference. Now that you have some of your defenders more fit, maybe there's a little bit of a difference.
Reece James is back as well, I'd say. So that means
actually back your. This is the first time I'm going into a City Chelsea game, and I'm saying Chelsea's midfield looks stronger.
I think the thing is, probably Enzo currently is touch and go, but I think you probably will start Enzo. So you probably have Caicedo, Enzo back. You know what I mean, in the midfield.
Caicedo,
Lavia's still away off.
Lavia is going to be a few weeks, sadly. He got hurt, but he's still got a back four again. Kukurea, Reece James, Chalobah, and Chilwell is a back four, and then probably it's going to be Palmer, Jackson. I think he'll go Sancho, Madueke. My personal opinion.
And I don't think Vader even knows what Pep is going to do. So it's fair to say, right?
No, I don't know.
Marmouche probably is going to win the 3. Vea isn't Marmouche meant to start, and like Kuzenov, I'm hearing is going to be getting some minutes, and Reece.
Well, when it's time for me to talk on City, I'll speak about all of that. So
baptism by fire.
Finally, my prediction, with everything being said, Chelsea away to City, with City's poor form, Chelsea being inconsistent. I think this game has draw written all over it. Really do, and a high-scoring draw at that. I could see like a situation where Cole Palmer scoring a penalty, shushing the crowd at 2-2, and then they score a third one.
He ain't gonna do that. Cole Palmer, I don't think he's disrespectful like that.
Okay, whatever. I could see him doing it though. It could be an interesting situation.
I could see him shushing the crowd, not the same crowd.
2-2 is what I see.
Fair enough. I respect. Let me say this: I respect all of your opinions. I happen to think that there's a few things you guys didn't take into consideration. Bridge Nation spoke about his additional defense. He talked about confidence in his back line. He talked about confidence in his attack. You know what I hear from every Chelsea fan? You know who they believe is the biggest bozo at their club, which Bridge Nation didn't mention at all? Their keeper. And what do I have at my club? I have some killers. I have some killers up front in terms of wanting to attack that goal and put some pressure on a keeper to make some right decisions. So I think it is going to be an interesting game. I think there is going to be a lot of back and forth. I think there's going to be an up and down game, but I'm a lot more confident in my attack than I am, obviously, in Chelsea's. I'll say it's 50-50 defensively. But when I look at the keeper, I'm like, Advantage City on what Sanchez is going to do for 90 minutes. So there's rumors that our new signing, I don't know if he's considered the Egyptian pharaoh, the prince, the king. I'm not sure what his title is just yet, but Omar Mamouche is coming, or he's not coming. He's here. He's here. It's officially announced. I myself, personally, I don't want him starting. I don't want to put that on a new signing. I want him to get that applause from the Etihad crowd getting subbed on. I think Holland can be very effective against Chelsea. I think Foden can as well. I think Savinho can do his thing. Obviously, Bridge knows this. He's probably scarred by it, but KDB loves playing against Chelsea. So I think we'll have enough in attack, but the question is, how will we defend them? Palmer is going to be a problem. Jackson, Sancho, hey, Caicedo, if you're going to be running the show by yourself, because it looks like you're not going to have your normal running mates, credit to you. What am I going to do in midfield? I think I'm just going to try to control it as best as I can. But the attack and the defense is where this game's going to get won. I don't know, Bridge. Well, I mean, you didn't mention Sanchez. That's your keeper's name, right? Sanchez. You didn't mention him. What's your confidence level if you were to say 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest? What's your confidence level of form going into this game and what he can do tomorrow?
I think the silence speaks for itself.
No, we need a number. We need a number, Bridge, because we're going to revisit this.
What's your score prediction?
I could be wrong. My prediction was actually bang on with what Jay said. I see a 3-2 City win in this one.
I'm gonna say with Sanchez, it's gonna be minus a million for me.
Stop doing this. Stop doing this. No.
On a serious note, bro. Come on.
No,
I'm being serious.
This man talked about winning the game, and now he's saying he's got 0% confidence in his keeper.
Yeah, but listen, running the game can also mean, listen, my goalkeeper's gonna do the mistakes he does, but I trust my attack to get the goals that's needed to win the game. Okay, there we go. There we go.
So your confidence in your keeper is minus
1 million.
Oh my gosh!
And listen, you can say that I'm being integration, but alas, my prediction for the
confidence in the keeper. What's the confidence in your team?
Right now, my confidence in the team probably is around about 75%. I'd probably say for this game specifically, 75%.
The math ain't mathin'.
It is because
wait. Oh no. We got him. So who's exceeding your confidence? Like who's
no. You asked the confidence of the team in general, right? I'm not including that. But listen, the goalkeeper. I'm just talking about.
Yeah. Who's the one player that's plus $1 million that's got your confidence to balance it all out? Then
who's the one that's over?
My attack is the plus $1 million. My attack in general adds up to plus $1 million. There we go, man.
So minus $1 million, plus $1 million. You're zero.
So it's safe to say we're two teams are playing each other with no defense.
No, I disagree. Again, I think my defense.
You say Diaz is out. Vader?
Diaz is out. Yeah. But like, again, listen, I've got arguably two of the best fullbacks in the game. You know what I mean? Right now, in Kukurea and Reece James back fit. Cowell is competent, been improving. He doesn't really make that many bozo mistakes as well. He's back in the team for me. And I've got Chalobah back who's competent. I've got competency in the back line. That's the key difference. It's not about if the defense is like trash or rubbish. I've got competency. Key word. I've got guys that are competent. And that's why for me, I'm actually predicting a 2-1 Chelsea win. That's what I'm going to go. It could be a 3-2 Chelsea win, but it's a 2-1 Chelsea win in my personal opinion.
Do you have concern? I'm interested in this whole City thing this season. Like, it's got really bad. Like I've said before, I have the utmost respect for Pep. I think the City teams that he's produced, one of the City teams at the very least, is the best team in Premier League history. The football they've played over the years has been incredible. I've been pretty vocal in the sense that what he's done, I think, is unparalleled. But I think this demise is absolutely crazy, and I don't see an end to it anytime soon. I'm not sure what this recruitment is like, because obviously your sporting director is leaving in the summer. You got a new sporting director coming in. How much of an influence is he having on the current recruits? Is that going to match? Are these Pep players? Like, I don't know anything about Kuzanov.
Yeah,
And this other and Marmoush. Honestly, until they prove me wrong, not prove me wrong. I'm neutral about these guys. Right?
Yeah.
They have to earn the City fans' trust. They have to earn not my trust, but my respect, and as they have to do for all of you guys.
Yeah.
I don't see
Rax,
City coming out. They're in danger. So last point. I think they're in danger of. I think they'll make it through to the next round of the Champions League, but I think they could go out in this first knockout round. And I think there's a chance they don't get top 5 might save them, but top 4, I see them potentially not even being in the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you bring up some important concerns. You bring up some points that you've observed, but you know what? There's been quote unquote greater clubs than City. There's been quote unquote more historic clubs than City that have fallen out of the top 4. I mean, you can speak recently in terms of your greatest Prem manager and what he's had to deal with, right? So the comeback or the return to competing or being in the mix isn't long, right? I think there are a lot of things that we didn't do right in recruitment. There's a lot of things that have happened with regards to injuries, which you've probably reflected on seasons where you haven't been at the races again. This is where we're at, and it happens, right? What Pep has done, and I credit to you for actually, being balanced on it. No manager has had a better first 8 years in the Prem ever. Yep. No one's done this ever, not even close, right? So the fact that he's dealing with this in year 9, it falls on him, it falls on the board, and it also falls on some of these players that I spoke about. 4 years full out, I think it's hit us. Now, do players need to prove their worth? I spoke about this on my channel. Yeah, every day the players got to prove whether they should be starting or not. There's no guarantee because you're so-and-so salary or wages that you're playing the next game. No. You guys all talk about and are upset when you do your fantasy football because of Pep Roulette. Pep's going to pick you if you deserve it. Now, Mamouche, you got your concerns. Yeah. We didn't even know what Salah was before he came, right? We didn't know until he actually did it. I think Mamouche has got a lot of potential. I think he's coming off what he's doing over in the Bundesliga and has a chance to play amongst, in my opinion, better players. So
how old is he? Sorry,
he's 25, I think. Okay. I think he's 25, 26. So and what he means to us is very close to Julian Alvarez in terms of his availability and playing around the front 3. You're on mute, yo. Not sure if you were dropping some gems. We weren't able to hear you.
No, I was saying, second striker / winger. Good thing I muted myself because I was coughing too much. But let's get into the next topic though, bro. Because I do hear your point on Marmouche. I do think City, it's gonna be a long season for them.
Vader, do you think you'll get top 4 or top 5? I mean, where do you think you'll finish?
He's not worried about that right now, bro. We'll come back.
I'm one game at a time, and I'll speak more confidently on my top 4 race after this Chelsea game.
How about after this run? If you have a crazy run of games.
You know what they say, Vita, man? 3 points at a time, bro. I respect you, man. We know, man. We know, bro.
Yeah.
3 points at a time.
While we're talking about 3 points at a time, Rack, Ipswich at home. Are you guaranteeing a win?
I mean, you have to. Surely not. Surely you have to, bro.
Look, I don't think I can be any more confident than I am. I expect to win. I don't think. I respect Ipswich.
3-0 prediction. 3-0.
We are. As I said before,
more likely?
We are one of the best teams in Europe. We are one of the best, if not the best team in England. And if we are, then we should be beating Ipswich. No question about it.
7-0.
Big chest, respect.
7-0.
Listen, all I'm saying, Rack, man, I went in really confident against
6-0.
the thing is, Rack, man. I went in really confident against Ipswich, and that bit me in the back quite literally. So please be careful.
I don't think it's easy to predict a 7-0 win, but I would be disappointed if we didn't score at least 3.
Okay, so 3-0 win. I think everyone here is saying Ipswich get wiped the floor with, and everyone has Mo Salah as their captain in their FPL this week. So yeah, I'm going Liverpool win, comfortable win, and we should just keep it moving. What do you guys think?
Yes, let's keep it pushing, man.
M is not here, so let's talk about Man United quickly. Let's be honest. Who's the better team right now? Fulham or Man United?
Fulham's winning. I'm telling
Fulham.
you right now.
Fulham's a better team.
Fulham's winning.
So everyone here is saying Fulham win at home versus Man United.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Yeah,
are we saying
doubt.
will be? Oh shit! You know what? I shouldn't have taken a Raul.
I mean, there's doubts. There is a hint of a doubt, but like I'd say Fulham are the favourites.
Bro, Fulham
at home
a
is
lot
good.
of these mid-table teams should have won, man.
This is a very good prem.
I should not have taken Raul Jimenez out of my fantasy team ahead of this game. Should have kept him in.
I heard an interesting take on this situation with Amorim and Man United's recruitment and all that kind of stuff. And
I'll be the judge of whether it's interesting, Rex.
True. Okay.
Go on, man. Speak your talk.
Let me say my piece, and then you.
Is it a conspiracy theory?
Speak your truth, Jay.
No, it's not a conspiracy, but it's more like so. United want to move to this 3 at the back wing back system, and for that, some of those players will be able to play. Can play a regular, 4 at the back system without any issues. But in some positions in that system, you have specialists. Now, United are potentially looking at clearing the books of some players and bringing in some specialist players. Now, some of those specialist players could end up costing a lot of money, right? If that happens, and then it doesn't work out with Amorim, do they then go and get another 3 at the back manager so that investment doesn't go to pot?
Yes.
Or do they revert back to a more conventional system manager? And then they have to renew the squad all over again, spending more and more money when they've got all this financial trouble. It's a crazy.
Wait, why are you saying they're not in financial trouble?
Yes, they are. They're in PSR danger right now.
Did you not see Jim Ratcliffe was like, hey, regrettably, we're going to have to increase prices, otherwise we're going to fail PSR.
Listen, he is stripping jobs. Are you forgetting? No one's getting bonuses at Christmas. No little Christmas treats.
They're taking charity money.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
They're still watching the stadium.
You know what you won't hear? You know what you won't hear from the United fans?
One of it is bad business. The guy's saying in charities.
But the Deloitte Money League. Look at where they are in the Deloitte Money League.
They're dropping though, aren't they?
The one thing you won't hear from
Arsenal's
United fans.
moving on up to the east side.
Gosh, this guy.
The
one thing you won't hear from United fans is them actually acknowledging that the Glazers kept more of the United culture than Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Look at what he's cutting. You know what I mean? You know what's wild? Because they wouldn't have done these cuts. They wouldn't have changed things like this in terms of the United culture. Ratcliffe came in here and he's cleaning out, almost like one of these hedge fund investors where he's like stripping it down, bare bones.
So, he's known for that. You know what's crazy, Vea, before I let you go, Jay? He has a history of this. He was known for doing this in other businesses. So I was like, when this started happening, I was like, why? I don't know why there's some United fans that want him to be sacked. Because like he's going to do this to you, Like I was very surprised by that, but that's just me.
See, the thing I want to add about this is that deep down, let's call a spade, yeah. The reason why a lot of United fans were upset with the Glazers is because the Glazers did something very smart that most people would do in their own lives. Yeah. If I said to you, hey, go buy this house, but when you buy the house, you don't need to put down any of your own money. Yeah. But the interest on the house is going to pay for everything. So really, you don't need to put anything that it's a deal that every single person would do. But when it happens to your club, and that's how they took over, they're like, man, what the hell? I see the Ineos come in now, and they ain't got no money. So how is it that Ineos have come in? They have no money, to spend on anything. They're running the team even more restrictedly than the Glazers.
Yep.
But it's like, and this is what I don't understand. It's like now you think because you stole Omar from Man City and you chased a guy like Dan Ashworth for 6 months, gave him 6 weeks, and then sacked him, that you guys are doing things properly. No, it's just the people running the club you hate slightly less than the people that were running the club before. And the fact is, give it time. You will hate them just as much Yeah. Because you kept Ten Hag at the beginning of the season, then brought in a 3-4-3 manager, but don't buy him any players to help him assimilate his formation. Yeah, the players I'm seeing you linked to, you're buying Lecce players for 40 million. You're buying Euro for 60 million. I'm not saying these aren't good players. I'm merely saying that when Højlund was being bought for 60 million, yeah, and you're buying these players, it's terrible, yeah. But then when you buy Ugarte for 55 and blah, 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 yeah, all I'm saying from my point of view is to support Ineos, yeah, but you're seeing them make all of these continuous decision making, yeah. It's like, I'm just like, I don't even know what the next step is for United, really. It's really just like...
Enough about United, bro.
What
Let's talk about your club. Let's talk about your club, Jay. Before we finish off with Arsenal, let's talk about your club. Spurs. You're facing Leicester. This is a relegation 6-pointer. Do you honestly believe, at your heart of hearts, Leicester could do something against you at home?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Because the thing is Spurs finished. So basically, when Spurs went to play Hoffenheim in the Europa League, we had 13 players. Like, we had 13 first-team players. Like, in like, so, and about 60, 70 minutes, yeah, the players were done. Now, I think Leicester are better than Hoffenheim, yeah? And it's kind of like, so I'm looking at this and I'm not worried. I think obviously Leicester are pretty crap. Rude isn't really doing well, but it's just with this thing. It's like energy is energy. Do you know what I mean? And it's like we really, like, when we played Wolves, we should have won the game. 87th minute equalizer. Players are running on fumes. So there's a concern if this game's not done in the first 60, 65 minutes. Like the last 20 minutes, unless they start coming at us, we could have issues. But I think we have to win. I think we will win, but I'm not sure it's going to be super straightforward. Yeah, that's that. I mean, like, I'm just not really.
If Tottenham don't win this game, are you actually going to consider relegation?
Yeah, of course. Because the thing is that, like I said before, we drew with Wolves, we lost to Everton, we lost to Ipswich. If we lose to Ipswich, if we lose to Leicester, how can I not consider relegation? Because who am I beating? The teams below us, we're not beating them. The teams above us, we're not beating them. So I'm not so, I've not got such an ego that I think it's impossible. I'm looking at the evidence in front of me. We must beat Leicester. So it's it's one of those where hopefully the team can win this. We've got another game next week in the Europa League. If we win that, we go straight into the last 16, which means you save 2 games. Do you know what I mean? Which is going to be important when we've got no legs. But I think Leicester have got a week's rest. They need a result. I think obviously on the flip side, Leicester, are they playing for their manager? Do you know what I mean? Van Nistelrooy's lost like 6-7 in a row. I'd argue if Leicester lose this game, Van Nistelrooy could lose his job. Already. I know, already.
Their fans already want him gone. As for Rack, do you have anything to say on Tottenham?
I mean, I'm looking at it now. Spurs are on 24 points. The best relegation team is on 16, joint with Wolves, Ipswich. So there's an 8-point gap already.
They're safe.
I think it would be a stretch for Spurs. I mean, also we've said it before, right? You said it the other day ago. Everton aren't going to get relegated. If Everton aren't going to get relegated, Spurs definitely aren't going to get relegated. So yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
For my own.
It's just on Everton quickly. Are you more irritated about the fact that now it's a kind of slightly rejuvenated Moyes that you'll play rather than? Or would you? I think they would have been. Are they equal? Would they be equally difficult games?
At the time, they had no Konate. They had McAllister out.
That's what I'm trying to say. Would you rather have played it then?
Look, Igal knows this. Igal knows this. He knows this off by heart. I have no idea. I forgot about this shit.
All right. For the sake of my own life, I'm gonna have to keep it moving because my throat is killing me. Arsenal play Wolves.
Pause.
Arsenal play Wolves. I expect us
Away.
to win.
You got to say Wolves Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal play Wolves away. I expect us to win. I am about to cough again. My throat is killing me. I'm having a tough day today. Who gives somebody bad news on a Friday? Just wait.
This is a really interesting thing, by the way, because obviously I run a recruitment company. I never tell people on Friday they've not got the job. Like, I just don't, because I don't like to ruin their weekends. Even if because if they tell me they've not got the job, I'm like, what the hell, man? Now you've ruined my weekend, but I'm not gonna ruin their weekend. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell them on Monday.
It's even deeper than that. I'll tell you after. But basically, I go into work. I got wonderful news last week, right? This week, it's like everything's okay. We have meetings, we have everything, and then Friday lunchtime, just before lunchtime, let's have a meeting, and then it's like, yeah, something happened. I'm like, what the fuck? Everything was perfect just 2 days ago. I literally got a congratulations letter, and now it's this. Like, what the fuck?
No, we'll talk about it off stream, but yeah, Arsenal.
Anyways, Arsenal. Also, please don't ever give anybody bad news on Fridays. Wait until the weekend is done.
But that's empathy. But that's empathy and etiquette, Gal. Not everyone has empathy in it. We live in a world where empathy and etiquette is running in short supply. So I don't expect empathy and etiquette from people. So
yeah, it's stupid.
It's unfortunate.
Anyways, long story short, Arsenal must win this weekend. No debate about it. We need to win every game. Hopefully, we're gonna have some of our best players back. Hopefully, we're gonna see what happens from here. But I think the boys are playing well defensively. It's just, can they get the goals? And away to Wolves. Wolves is a team that is very hit or miss. Sometimes they'll concede like 3 goals out of nowhere, and sometimes they'll be really resolute defensively. It just depends what Wolves we get on the day. Because the Wolves that faced Chelsea, that were hit or miss, the Wolves that we've seen face Man City a couple years ago, they were pretty good. You never know with Wolves. So I'm going to go shaky game, like a close 2-0 win. Like one of those ones where you nick a second goal late in the game. But we go away to Wolves, keep a clean sheet, get 2 goals, and sit on it for the rest of the game and just chill. We can't do the same mistake where we did this week, where we had a 2-goal lead and we threw it away in like 7 minutes. Oh yeah, guys, let me know. Do you guys disagree? Do you think Wolves have a chance? Be honest.
No. It's like, I watched Wolves against Chelsea, and I didn't like the thing about when you play Arsenal, you've got to be pretty solid. Because even if Arsenal don't like score or this or that, like when Arsenal aren't scoring in these games, they're not scoring against teams that are set up quite well and that are defending well. The one thing I've seen them with Wolves in the last few weeks is like just some, like against Chelsea, just some brain dead defending, like consistently over the 90 minutes. And it was like Chelsea, even when they pulled Chelsea back to 1-1, they gave Chelsea 2 really simple goals to go back in front. And I think Arsenal create enough that this shouldn't be an issue. The only issue you might have if it's Cunha decides to put in a generational performance to try and convince you guys to sign him. But yeah, I think also the other thing is from a centre-back point of view, interesting you just mentioned that, like how they set up. Because I was having this conversation with an Arsenal fan, and then we were talking about like, which is the better option, when Saliba's missing? Is it, and White's missing? Is it to move Timber to centre-back and have Partey at right-back? But we were looking at the data, and Arsenal have dropped a decent number of points with Partey at right-back. Yeah, I'm not specifically blaming Partey, but I'm saying those are the facts. Now, on the flip side, if you say, okay, play Timber at right-back and Kiwior at centre-back, Kiwior has had a mistake in him. The team doesn't look as stable. So you basically got the question of, would you rather play Timber at centre-back and Partey at right-back, or would you rather play Timber at right-back and Kiwior at centre-back? Either way, I can see Wolves scoring with that composition of defence. I just think Arsenal will probably score more. But that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Maybe like 3-1 Arsenal, but yeah, it's an interesting one about that at the moment. And I think Arsenal would probably do well to buy maybe cash in on Kiwior and Tomiyasu and buy like a proper centre-back in the summer who they really trust to play meaningful minutes.
Can't hear you, go.
I'm so down right now. I don't even want to talk anymore.
Okay.
It's just talking about Arsenal gets me depressed sometimes. Because I had such high hopes for my season. We're third in the Champions League. We're second in the Premier League. But it's just like I just feel like the writing's on the wall for us to eventually have a situation where we just say, you know what, Liverpool take the league, Champions League, eventually be like, can we get a run? Can we get hot in the Champions League? Can we really go in the Champions League? I don't believe we can. And then we're behind.
When it depends, I think Saka is critical to your Champions League hopes.
How long's that for again? What, another month or so?
Saka's probably going to be out until March.
But depends, start of March or end of March. The start of March is
another 6 weeks then.
End of March is another 8 weeks. That's
regardless.
Big difference.
The window's still open.
The one thing again I was thinking about before is obviously, you know, with the Champions League and Europa League and all that sort of stuff, like obviously because it runs until the 30th of January. Some teams don't know if they're still going to be in Europe after the window closes and stuff. I think that might be affecting certain things. Yeah. Also, as well, your issue is people know your need is great. Like they know your need is great. So if you come to us now, any club, if you come to and boy, that'll be 85 million, thanks. Semenyo, that'll be 70 million, thanks.
But we have a price, and we're not going to get bullied. Even if we want the player, we're not going to just go and overpay.
At what point? But do you think the fans want to hear that at this point? Do you think, like, 5 years into the process,
it's not about what the fans want to hear.
Because I remember when Diaz is a good example of this, though. Do you remember when Spurs tried to get Diaz in January? Liverpool had no intention of buying him in January. But as soon as they saw it, they made that judgment call and say, hey, even Muani, like, why Arsenal didn't feel like Muani would help them, to me, I don't get it. Like, even if you just wanted a warm body,
Arteta doesn't want just anybody, because that's what we did with Raheem Sterling. That's what we did with Cedric Suarez. That's what we did with Pablo Mari. That's what we did with Dennis Suarez. You can't just get anybody. You need to get the right person, or else you almost just have another person that's a headache in the team that wants game time that's not going to actually impact the games.
Fair enough, but like I'm just saying, like a French international who's an attacker who can play across the whole front line, who's available for loan, but you guys aren't seriously in for him. The
real interesting thing is the Premier League clubs outside of the Big Six have money. And if you want any of their players, you're going to have to pay premium dollar. The teams outside of the Champions League have money, and they're in competitions, and they have a vested interest to keep their players. There's even conspiracy theories that people are saying Klopp is the reason why Arsenal can't get Sesko in January. No, it's just that they don't want to sell when they have things to play for, and they don't have enough time to get a replacement in. Simple. As an Arsenal fan, I want us to just be like, act like a big club, go and push your weight around. But if we go and do that in January, and then we sign a player who is not as impactful as we need, or that player doesn't have enough time to gel with the squad and is not as impactful, and we spend all this money, and then in January another opportunity comes that would have been much better for us, we might regret it. I'm not saying I don't want a signing. I'm just saying whatever signing we sign, it cannot be something that can put the whole project in detriment. Because I'm seeing some people saying, it doesn't matter. Just go and spend 80 million on Cunha. He's better than what we have. 80 million on Cunha could be the next 60 million Kai Havertz down the drain.
This is something. This is why what's happened to Gabriel, Gabriel Jesus, is also a big issue, right? Because I'm pretty sure Arsenal wanted to sell Gabriel Jesus in the summer, right? Now you can't sell.
His contract out.
Huh? Is it in the contract in the summer?
Yeah, he's running down his contract. We gave him a new 6 months extension.
Okay, but what I'm saying, you've given us. Okay, when was his contract due to expire? This summer.
His contract, I think it runs out this.
I thought we had another year. But regardless,
maybe he has another year, but we gave him another 6 months so he can train.
What I'm saying is, I would have expected that you would have wanted to get a fee for him. If you would have sold him in the summer, maybe you get 30 million. You can probably get 30. Now you've still got his wages on the bill. I don't know whether that's going to be taken care of insurance or not.
Going to take over that.
Yeah, sure, but you've still got a 30 million pound asset that you can't sell, right? So that's 30 million, amortized or not, that would have gone into your transfer kitty. So you all of a sudden you've got a potential hit now for your summer budget. So every penny that you spend, you have to be conscious of it, because they would have wanted to do a certain degree of player trading. And that's not just for you; that's for every club. And unfortunately, that's going to impact Arsenal's trading. It wouldn't surprise me. It may be the difference between you buying first choice, second choice centre back, maybe, or a young up and coming player to play in midfield, or a promising young striker. Maybe you bring in Sesko, but maybe you want to bring in a young player to play alongside him, or come in and take some minutes, so you're not just solely relying on Sesko.
Yeah, it's very simple. Do you think Arsenal should pay another 20 million on top of Sesko's current price tag, or just get him for the 65 in the summer?
I think you should always try and stick to your valuation, ultimately, because when you stop doing that, then you start getting into trouble, because you start spending parts of your budget on overspending, so therefore you end up leaving potential holes in the other areas which need attention. So, for example, if you have to spend another 30 million on Sesko, or 20 million on Sesko now, maybe that means you can't bring in a backup midfielder that you wanted to bring in the summer, for example. I understand you've got immediate needs, and you have to balance that. If you think you can do it, fine, but there's no rule. It depends on the players. But what you do know is you've got more of a selection in the summer.
What we know is Arteta wants a striker. He said it today in the press conference, so hopefully it puts some pressure on the club.
But do you think, say for example, you bring in one striker? Really, probably want to bring in.
That adds another clinical player in our team, another attacking option in our team, another person who can help us get goals, another person who can help us create, and we just need.
But is one addition in your front line enough? Is one addition in your front line enough? I question whether that is enough. So you're not just looking at one attacker; you're probably looking at two attackers.
We are creating. We are getting in the right positions. We don't have a natural striker with the movement and the goal scoring ability. When Aubameyang came into Arsenal, we seen instant impact, 14 goals in like 15 games. I'm not expecting Sesko to come in and do Aubameyang numbers right away, but if you have that player and you're already doing everything else, it can slightly elevate you to another level. Now, I'm not saying Aubameyang elevated us too much, but he did take our team from shitting the bed the whole season to, at least by the end of the season, we were like 1 point off top 4 that year, when Liverpool got top 4. But hey, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Love for the love, people. You already know what it is. I appreciate all the support. We will be back again post-match reaction. Arsenal playing tomorrow. Yeah, Arsenal playing tomorrow. So we'll catch you tomorrow after the post-match reaction. And Jay, appreciate it. Rak, appreciate it. Ahmed, all the boys. M couldn't make it today, but he'll be there Sunday, hopefully. And we'll catch you on the next one. Love, people. We're out of here. Peace.